Well, hi. Today is Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. I'm Todd Studer, and this is Morning Coffee, and it's also Fair Day. So after I wrap up today's shows, I'm going to be jumping into the car and headed east to take in the Iowa State Fair. I heard they have something along the lines of a flight of handballs. That's high on my list, along with a lot of other things that are there too. And some of the old standards and traditions, planning on taking those in. Pork chop on a stick is kind of mine. I have to get one of those every time I go to the fair. And looking forward to seeing anything that's new that's happening at the fair this year. No, not going to a show in the grandstands this particular season, but there's a lot of other things going on today. And I'm excited to be in a place where it showcases everything Iowa, including, well, there's going to be a Hawkeye booth there where you can see all of the trophy games and the trophies that were won by the Hawkeye football team last year. Yeah, looking forward to that one too. Coming up on today's show, we are going to continue on with our preview of the high school fall sports season. And today we're visiting with Tim Cannon, the activities director at St. Albert in Council Bluffs. He is also boys basketball coach, took over last year, and we are excited to have Tim on to the show for the first time. Great guy, and graduated from St. Albert, I believe it was 1973. So he goes way back with the Falcons, and this is going to be a wonderful conversation coming up here in just a bit. If you're looking for a laid-back spot with great food and even better company, Mile Away in Council Bluffs is your go-to spot. You know, they're open for lunch every Tuesday through Friday now from 11 to 2. So why not head on out and have lunch there today? It's a family-run bar and grill. You're going to get mouth-watering wings, unbeatable weekly specials, and a welcoming atmosphere that feels like home. It's the perfect place to relax and enjoy good times. Be sure to follow them on Facebook and the rest of the social media. You'll get the latest events and all of the specials every day. The Mile Away, where great food and great people come together. And speaking of which, you know, when Bryce Taylor and I of GLI Insurance Group went out and did our first restaurant review, well, it was at the Mile Away. I remember Bryce having those wings, and he was a huge fan. And we should probably get another one of those scheduled again really soon and go out. And Bryce and I love going to area restaurants, kind of highlight what's going on there. And Bryce also with GLI Insurance Group. It's a locally and family-owned independent insurance group. It's been helping people find the best possible plan for them for over a decade. Don't forget to follow the Council Bluffs Food Lovers page. That's Bryce's page. He started it, and it is growing by leaps and bounds. I think they might be over 12,000 members now. So again, if you haven't followed that yet, you're going to want to go there too. Developers, engineers, and tech innovators, we've been telling you about an event that is coming up at the end of September 30th and October 1st, as a matter of fact. It's the AIM Institute's Heartland Developers Conference. It'll be at the Mid-America Center in Council Bluffs. The first time they're having this event in Council Bluffs, and it's been going on for over 15 years. There'll be keynote speakers, deep dive breakout sessions, an exhibitor hall, hands-on demos, and of course, invaluable networking opportunities. hdc.aiminstitute.org is the website. That's where you go to get your tickets, register, and let your career take off. Continuing now with the high school fall sports previews with St. Albert, and we head over to talk with Activities Director Tim Cannon. Well, Coach, great to see you. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today.
Thank you, Todd. I'm very happy, very thrilled to be a part of the show. Thank you for doing this for everybody in the area here.
Well, that's a high compliment. Thank you, sir. And as we head into the fall season now, I know that I've talked with other activity directors in the area, and it's pretty universal that there is an excitement. There's always an excitement inside of the school when the kids are coming back. You've got brand new seniors that you're looking forward to taking over leadership roles. You've got young people that were in 8th grade last year and are now coming into high school. So it's just everything's new, and there's an excitement there, and I'm sure it's exactly just that way at St. Albert.
Yes, it really is. You hit a lot of great points there. Just that part about the new senior leadership, you know, every season is, it's a new season for the players and the coaches. Even if they've been together for 4 years, it's still that year and that team that year. And you can't beat the fall. You know, I'm a basketball coach, which I love, but you cannot beat the fall excitement. It sets the tone for the school year. The fall sports really do.
I remember back during my sportscasting days, and there was something about the first football game when the weather started to change and it was a little crisp, and you could smell the brats that were cooking over on the grill, and all of that stuff. Just that atmosphere just kind of builds into it and feeds into it. So by the time that you are taking the court as a coach, things are really clicking along, and everybody's just kind of into a mode right then.
Right. Yes, they are. And I was able to talk to our football team here recently for just some of their summer workouts. I was very honored Donnie Woods asked me to. And that's one of the things I talked about, their honor of wearing their jersey on game day. There's a lot of excitement on a Friday game day for football. And, of course, other fall sports, volleyball, cross country and tennis will be the same. A lot of excitement for all of them.
Well, let's begin with football because St. Albert, the location where you play, to me, is kind of iconic. There's a feel when you go to that stadium and you sit there, and the level of tradition that has been over the years at St. Albert, you can really feel it. I mean, there's an electricity when you get to that game.
Well, we've got a lot of great tradition here, and I was honored to play here as a student athlete myself. So I go back to 1969, but I know when you play St. Albert football, it's just some legendary teams. And when I was a freshman, we had a team where Vince Lieber was the running back, but there were a lot of guys on that team that played college football. Tremendous team. And then we went from there to numerous state championships. And our guys right now, they've got it going again. That's one of their goals, to reestablish the tradition.
You have mentioned before we got started Coach Donnie Woods, and you talked about him here just briefly. What's really impressed me about him is, number one, making sure that all of his players are aware of that tradition and honor that tradition, but also he gets young people excited when they're coming in and being a part of the team, even all the way down to, hey, we're going to sign something here, and it's your commitment to this team and to the school and to your other teammates. And to me, everything that he has been doing over the past few years has been spot on, just exactly what the school needed.
Well, you're exactly right. Just describing Donnie with a few short adjectives, just super organized, very enthusiastic, very positive, fun-loving, stresses to the players that we're going to have fun. And football's a lot of work. There's a lot of grunt work. We all know that, but he's made it a goal to, for them to come in and enjoy it. And I think that's going very well. The kids take a lot of pride. Donnie is so great with parent communication weekly, putting out schedules, what's going to happen for the kids. And in a lot of ways, not just the practice schedule, but, things they have coming up and what he's stressing with them and safety precautions, everything. He's very, very great with communications with everyone. I love everything you just said about our field, and we all do, and it is tradition galore. But we have moved our home games to Iowa Western.
That's correct. Yes, I do remember hearing about that.
Yeah. But we continue. We've got a great crew that takes care of the field. We continue to use it for practice, for JV games, for middle school games. So we're completely using it, and we hope in the long run we make some upgrades to our field itself. But at this time, we're going to Iowa Western. We're very excited about that. A super place to play, and they have been so good to us. We've already played soccer there last spring, and Iowa Western has been tremendous in just being accessible and helpful of what we do.
Since you brought it up, Coach, and before we jump into the other sports, talk a little bit more about Iowa Western, because having a secondary institution like that in town and the tradition that they have built and the success that you see, not just with football, but across the board. I mean, a couple of years ago, they win 6 national championships in different organizations.
Yeah.
To create that kind of partnership and to be able, when you get young people around that, they can feed off of that.
Oh, I think Iowa Western is fabulous. I've lived here since 3rd grade. Obviously, I moved to Omaha when I got married, but I'm in the area the whole time. And to see the growth, I remember when the campus just began and the old gym and things like that. And then here comes a new gym and a football field, and the the workout complex building, the Marshall building is absolutely fabulous. And, we're probably ahead, Iowa Western's probably ahead of some 4-year schools for facilities. And then the way they've reached out to other schools is just tremendous. I mean, they've done it with us, but they're doing a lot with Lewis Central. They have, all kinds of teams use their field for baseball, and it's good for the city. And I think, the city is good for Iowa Western. It's great to see the growth.
Let's jump back into fall sports now at St. Albert. And, let's talk about the girls' tennis that is playing now in the fall. And that's is a little bit of an adjustment, but I've talked with other ADs in the area, and they said it actually makes it a little bit easier because you're not dealing with the weather quite as much.
Yes, and you get a lot of matches in before school actually begins. So if a girl is playing volleyball also or cross country, it's possible. Helps a little bit with those scheduling conflicts. I think so far now, the matches start today, so we'll see. But I think so far it's a smooth transition, and I'm really proud here of our coach Matt Madsen and all of our coaches that have helped him. He has Lindsay Daly. He's got Justin Pickney. He's got Joe Narmy. And they all did it back last spring, but they did girls and boys together. And now, so Matt took the girls again this fall, and it's going tremendous. We have a lot more girls out than last spring, and some really good athletes now crossing over to another sport. Probably the first time they tried tennis, but they're very good players in other sports. So we're getting a nice turnout.
Is that because of there was a conflict in the spring of multi-sport athletes? Is that why you got more athletes out this year?
I think so. Right now, if you're not a volleyball player, that would be the only other sport, and you've got all the sports in the spring. Yes, I mean we've had people in the spring who tried to do soccer, track, and golf at the same time. Pretty much they all would cut down to 2, but yeah, I think you hit it on the nail there, and it's nice to get a really good athlete in another sport to come out for tennis. Coach Madsen has done a fabulous job. Matt's a graduate from here. We kind of reconnected. When I was substitute teaching here for a month, he was substitute teaching. I just started asking him to do things, and he's graciously agreed to help. And wonderful, wonderful man. He went and got his coaching authorization right away, and now he's taking over girls tennis.
At St. Albert, is there? Do you have a lot of young ladies that are out for multiple sports in the fall? Is that a scheduling problem for you?
Well, I would say last year between volleyball and cross country, Lily Denton did both, and we might have had 1 or 2 others, but it wasn't too much in the fall. There's a lot of crossover in the spring between soccer and track. The track girls won the state championship. Some of them were playing soccer, and it's a tough go, and I'm not used to it. I coached in Nebraska my whole life, and I just think it's one sport at a time. But, it's a great thing if they can swing it. The coaches are wonderful on being cooperative with each other, and that's a big key.
Now, you have to be, though, at smaller schools because the pool of athletes is just smaller, and that's reality. It's not it's not saying anything bad about anything. It's just you just have fewer to draw from. So, in order to not just be able to field a team, but then have a successful team, you kind of have to have athletes out of multiple sports.
You do, and 2 of our great examples. I mean, so much credit to these kids. Parker Heisterkamp last year was a great cross-country runner. Donnie would allow him to miss practice, I'd say close to once a week, because of meets. And Parker did well in cross-country as our leading receiver. Lily Denton, one day, was at, I think the conference meet was at Carroll Kemper, and she wins the championship in cross-country, and she gets back to St. Albert, and she's playing by the 3rd game of volleyball that night. So, it's the players and the families making sacrifices, and our coaches doing what you said. You have got to reach out and say, yes, we will make this work.
Well, and also when you think about what types of values does that instill into a young person moving into adulthood, they learn that, look, there's ways of doing things, and maybe you have to pivot a little bit, but you can achieve success by doing things that are not as traditional as it might be at other schools, and it pays benefits because ultimately, that's your goal is you want to you want to raise and help transition young people into adulthood and be successful there.
Yes, and that's a great learning point for them, and a great way to learn that transition. And you're correct. Also, being a small school, we probably have, I mean, definitely per ratio of kids, we got more kids in dual sports because you just need them, and they want to do it and they want to try it, and it's pretty good.
Well, what do you think about the volleyball team this year? What can we expect to see out of the Saints?
Well, Angie Lance has had so many really good volleyball teams here, and she's got a lot of girls back from last year, and she has added really. She ended the season with a couple starters out with major injuries, and they're back. And we also have brought in, a couple new girls that are going to help also. I think they're really looking forward to having a very good season. And tough conference, but it's tough conference in every sport for us, and it's a good challenge. But I really think, they're going to do well. I'm excited to go down and just watch part of first practice today because Angie does a great job. We've got a new assistant coach, Elle Scarborough, played at Glenwood and then played in college and just graduated from Iowa State. And we're really excited to have her as an assistant also.
It's a point that gets mentioned quite a bit, but it bears mentioning, I think, every time that playing in the conference that you do, and you're playing bigger schools all season long, come tournament time, yeah, your record may not be as high as some of the other 1A schools that are playing all 1A schools the entire season, but you're battle tested and ready to go.
We are battle tested. For years, following St. Albert as an alumni, I always kind of wondered, I don't know about being in that Hawkeye 10, but now after being here for a year, I think it's perfect. And I'll just take basketball as an example. I thought it was great for us. We were competitive. We won more games than we lost in the conference, and then it really got us ready for playing, tournament play. And we were able to gain 2 home tournament games in basketball, which is the most you can get. The third one goes neutral floor. So our schedule helped us do that also. And I think Angie in volleyball is looking, at that part too. The conference will test us very well. And the team's in a lot of good tournaments, which the same against bigger schools usually, but it sure gets you ready.
And then, of course, we touched briefly on cross country, but, there's the young people that are out competing in that pour their hearts and souls into it just as much as every other sport. And
yeah, they do, and we've got some good boys runners, and, we've got the top of the class and Lily Denton and girls who won state cross country last year. And just a word about her. What a tremendous example of all the things you've been talking about, crossover sports, commitment, how you learn how to do things. She's learned how to train a lot on her own for cross country, but she does that year round. It's probably nothing new, but she does a lot on her own during the season. She's at volleyball practice for the most part, and then we'll be at cross country meets, but she works out a lot on her own in the morning for cross country, super dedication. And just to meet that girl, she's amazing. She's a humble, that's what I love about her the most. Just a very, very, not looking for credit, not looking for glory, hardworking, humble girl. And we're all really proud of her. And to watch her run's incredible. She gets a lead in the first 300 yards in cross country. I swear she's ahead by 100 already. And they take this golf cart out to pace the lead runner. And I always say, you better take that golf cart back to the second runner because you can't find her.
Yeah, they running the golf carts in the front and golf carts in the back to make sure they've got everybody taken care of. But
yeah,
and you bring up another point that when it comes to if someone wants to hit that elite level as an athlete, pretty much without exception, they're doing exactly what you said. They're putting in the time on their own, and they're doing a lot of things when nobody's looking and not looking for credit. They're just wanting to improve. And as I said, it's universal across the board. It doesn't matter what the sport is.
That's true. And Lily, she's a great example of that. And I mean, in the state track meet, she gained 28 points by herself and 10 points, anchoring a medley relay team. her dedication just leads to so much success for not only herself but for her team. And we've got guys like that in our male side of sports, some great leaders. The kids, the way they work in the summer in the weight room, it does more than just help them build physically. It helps them build a lot of determination and a lot of camaraderie and closeness to their teammates. And I think that's helped our sports a lot too, because the girls and boys are both doing summer workouts a lot.
Coach, before we wrap up, I want to talk a little bit about the fan base, the parents, the alumni. St. Albert is one of those places that when you've gone there, you're a Saint or a Falcon for life. And it's that tradition never leaves you, and you want to keep coming back and supporting it. And I just wanted to get a comment or two from you about the importance of that level of support that you see.
Well, I see it with a lot of people, a lot of alumni, the people here in town, but there's also people in Omaha. There's people all over the country. We had a great celebration last year, the 50th anniversary of our 1975 boys basketball state championship team, and 11 of the 14 players were here. All the coaches were here, and just to see those guys, and they had a great time. And I've been going to school in Council Bluffs since third grade. So when I started at St. Albert's as a student, it was 1969. And it's really the sole reason I came back here to coach and become the athletic director. I was retired. I wasn't going to do that, but I'd do it because, your alma mater, it means a lot to me. And my wife is an alum. It means a lot to both of us. She's put a lot into this. She makes the best cookies around for our concession stands. And it's something we love doing because there is a lot of pride in St. Albert, really all over the country. And
when you think about the way it is now versus the way it was back in the late 60s and early 70s for you, can you see a common thread still there?
I see the common thread with what you had mentioned, just the love for this place by so many people. Our assistant athletic director is Nate Noon. I played baseball with his dad. Mike Noon was a senior when I was a freshman. And just people like that, they come to games, they want to be here. They enjoy the heck out of it. We have great crowds for ball games, and, we're going to continue that this year. But you see it with a lot of people. It means a lot. We just had a function the other night for where we have a fundraising effort to add improvements to our kitchen cafeteria area. And our head cook, Karen Hander, put on this great spread of different foods, and all the people came in, and you could see it there. They're just here because they love St. Albert. And, a lot of them went to school here, but some didn't, and it's just because their children are here. Being a K through 12 and even having preschool and daycare here, this school is advertised as you can go here from cradle to cap. And I've got basketball players. I just started asking them this year how long they've been here. A lot of them have been together like from pre-K until now. And so, in a sport like basketball with 5 players, that helps your chemistry a lot. It helps every sport here. And it helps football. Donnie's done a great job. Those guys are real excited and to lead off the season with volleyball and cross country and tennis here also.
Well, yeah, you can go from cradle to cap, and then even after retirement, you can come back.
You can come back. Yes, you can.
Tim Cannon, AD at St. Albert Council Bluffs. Thank you so much for your time, sir. Love to continue to talk to you throughout the season, and looking forward to seeing a lot of success.
Todd, thank you. This is great what you're doing for everyone. I'm thrilled to talk to you, but thank you for all you're doing for everybody in the area.
A lot of tradition at St. Albert. And actually, as we were talking, I had forgotten that they were not playing their home games now, that they're playing those games over at Iowa Western. And it's been a great partnership. And we talked, obviously we talked about that, but it's new things are important and good to bring along. And that partnership that Iowa Western and St. Albert have, only good things are going to come from that. Since 1870, Avila Bank has been providing Iowans with high-quality financial products and services to fit their needs. Do you need a loan, maybe a new business account, or are you saving money for a trip? Opening a new personal checking account? Avila's qualified bankers can help you with all of that and more. Visit avila.bank to learn more. And S&B Country Kennel has become the top spot in Southwest Iowa when you need to know your dog will receive only the best. Boarding, daycare, grooming, self-washing, and also a training facility, or rather a dog park that is over an acre in size. S&B Country Kennel also has rescue dogs, so check with them about adoption possibilities. sbcountrykennel.com, the website, that's country spelled with a K. They're located just west of I-29 on Bunkie Avenue, south of Council Bluffs. It is Fair Day. I'm not taking video. I'm not going there to work. I'm going there to enjoy the day, take a few pictures, and I might show you those. But other than that, it's time to unplug for a Wednesday afternoon, and no better place to do it than the Iowa State Fair. My name's Todd Studer. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.